This is Jordan Tower with JT News. Make sure you smash that like button, smash that subscribe, and let's get right into the news. Well, 50 Cent is desperate to make a song with Lil Wayne. It's funny, just, 15 years ago, he was saying Lil Wayne's not all that. And Lil Wayne didn't really want beef with 50 Cent around that time because, 50 had a reputation for using different. He didn't want to have those kind of like issues. Not saying that Lil Wayne was scared. It was just like, it's good. It's all good. Like, who needs those problems, He also had bigger sights on Jay-Z coming up later, that he wanted to like take on someone that was considered the GOAT, So anyways, I think a 50 Cent and Lil Wayne song would be interesting. We never had that. And I'm sure he wants to do things he's never done on his last project that he's going to make. Gillie and Wallo, there's a lot of speculation around their deal, okay? A lot of people were interested in that. And some people were like $100 million over 4 years, which doesn't even make sense if you look at their numbers, right? If you look at their numbers, right? Say they bring in, even if they brought in $1 million a month, right? Which is possible, right? Because between their podcast streaming numbers, their YouTube numbers, and then endorsements, they're at least probably pulling in $100,000 a month. That's minimum, right? I'm sorry, $1 million, $100,000 a month on that, right? So 50,000. Yeah, so like we're talking about maybe $2-3 million a year, right? My math could be off, right? But say they're doing 11 million views on YouTube. That's like $50,000 to $70,000, right? Then on top of that, they might double that with the podcast number, so maybe 140. Then any other deals they're doing on the side, let's just give them like, let's just say they do $200,000 a month, which is incredible. That's like overshooting it, right? So they bring in like $2 to $2.5 million a year. That over 4 years, that would not equal $100 million. These guys probably signed a $10 to $15 million deal. Think about it. Their first deal was $2 million just for 2 years. They proved themselves. A $10 million deal is a lot. People are like $100 million because you're thinking of like Cash Money, and stuff, deals like that. $10 million for podcasting is incredible. Okay? Incredible. So salute to them. But, just to break it down, it's not $100 million. I know that number's been tossed out there. $100 million, I don't think people understand how much $100 million is and how careful a company would be to give out $100 million. Drake is a safe bet with $100 million. And that's what he's getting for huge deals, right? Over 4 years, we're not talking about album sales. We're talking about like Steak. Steak gave him like 50 to 100 million or something like that over a course of amount of years. But it's Drake. Okay, Gillie and Wallo, they have a certain demo and it's limited. Drake is one of the very few that is not limited. Sexy Red and Sukihana drop Hood Rats. These girls just won't stop. I have nothing to say about that. It is what it is. Ali from St. Lunatics has his gripes with Nelly, understandably, because Nelly didn't pay him properly. Point blank, period. Nelly just didn't pay him properly. Didn't pay him all his money. He said if he owed me $90,000, he'd give me 13 and try to give me another 13 in a few months. Like, he'd stretch it out. So this is why everybody left Nelly's label, because nobody could grow from that. Everybody was being pushed down and stifled. That's not cool, man. Nelly messed up with that. It's horrible, to be honest. And Ali's been very vocal about having problems with Nelly. They've beefed a lot. Nelly didn't really take care of his people like a lot of rappers don't. That's all I could say, you know. Yo Gotti says rap is boring now. Yeah, you're part of the reason, bro. Like, I'm sorry. I like Gotti. Don't get me wrong. Gotti's accomplished a lot, okay? This is he's one of the more hustler rappers out here that, you know, is about action. Buying himself out of his deal, getting another deal. Buying himself out of that deal, getting another deal. Putting out mixtapes. Making sure he's always on the road. I mean, this guy knows how to hustle. This guy knows how to generate money. And he had many attempts at getting artists in the beginning. He had about 3 failed attempts. And then he finally, I wouldn't say he got it right with Black Youngster. Black Youngster just like had a lot of personality in the beginning, and that helped him out. And he got some traction, but you can't name a Black Youngster song. But then he got Moneybagg Yo, and then from there, once you get a wins kind of keep coming. He's got like 4 or 5 artists now generating money for him because they're on 360 deals. Let's see. Bobby Althoff responds to Dave Portnoy putting out the fact that the rumor that she slept with Drake, and that's why Drake took down the episode. I highly doubt Drake slept with her. He could he have? I'm sure if he pressed the issue, but Dave Portnoy, all Dave Portnoy is doing is working with her agency to generate more drama. Just them removing the Drake thing, they were hoping it would get more publicity. It didn't really. Nobody really, like, people talked about it a little bit. People didn't care. So now they had to amp it up. So they did the podcast with Dave. Now they have this fake beef going on. Dave likes it because it brings attention to his podcast, right? Which he doesn't need the money. He just likes the attention. He really doesn't need it, right? He's very rich from selling Barstool Sports. Then I think he bought it back for $1, so he's the owner again. Always remain the president. Bobby says, I did not want to even do this podcast in the first place. And now there's so much negativity coming from it. I'm going to leave it alone after, but this is an uncensored DM between Dave and I. And Dave says, my girlfriend said that you and Drake are the reason you and Drake smashed and you're getting divorced. I told her it's not true. She said, I'm not commenting publicly. Off the record, you're right. I knew I was right. And then Dave put it out on a podcast today, like as a, like pretending to mistakenly leak it. I mean, I'm not stupid. I know the whole publicity games. This is a publicity game. So don't fall for this, okay? Drake probably is upset now that he would get dragged into this because this isn't good for his brand, okay? He's very careful with that stuff now. Drake's definitely going to make some phone calls. Who do you think makes WME more money? Drake or Bobby? Drake does. So they're going to be like, all right, so they're going to have to fix this somehow. Ice Spice, his mom is, wow. Ice Spice, if whoever marries Ice Spice is guaranteed a beautiful wife for a long time. The genes are exquisite, I have to say. I mean, I thought she'd be one of these girls that kind of falls off in her 30s. Nah, genes are strong. Her mom's going strong in her late 40s, I'm assuming. All right, we already talked about this. Anyways, this is Jordan Tower with JT News. I appreciate you all, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Peace.